I sat at the dinner table, as if it were a crime scene. 2 plates set before me, candles flickering weakly, and the faint aroma of rosemary chicken, once my favorite, now made my stomach churn. Mark. Her voice drifted from the kitchen, soft, careful. You're home early. I didn't respond. My gaze was locked on the phone, lying face down beside her wine glass. The same phone I've been calling all afternoon. The same phone that had delivered a photo I could never unsee. Traffic was light. I muttered at last, my tone flat. She smiled, that effortless smile that used to make me feel lucky just to exist in her orbit. Now it felt rehearsed, practiced for someone else. Dinner's ready, she said, wiping her hands on a towel. I made your favorite. I looked at her, Emily, my wife of 7 years. The woman still wearing the necklace I'd given her on our 3rd anniversary. The one she said she never took off because it reminded her of us. Smells good, I said, though my voice didn't feel like mine. She sat across from me, pouring wine into both glasses. Rough day? She asked, watching me closely. I almost laughed. Rough day, I echoed silently. That was one way to put it. Earlier, around 3 in the afternoon, I'd been in my office when my phone buzzed. An unknown number. You deserve to know. Attached, a single photo. Blurry, but clear enough. Emily at a cafe I didn't recognize, leaning across the table to a man I did. Evan, my friend, my co-worker, the man who had clapped beside me at my wedding. The photo itself was harmless. 2 people having coffee. But the look on her face, the softness, the glow, the same expression she once reserved for me. And then the timestamp, last night. Mark, she said again, breaking the silence. You look pale. Did something happen at work? Something like that, I murmured, taking a sip of wine to buy time. It burned going down. She reached for my hand, but I pulled back. Confusion flickered in her eyes. Did I do something? She asked quietly. For a moment, I almost lied, almost pretended nothing was wrong. It would have been easier. But the image flashed behind my eyes, her hand brushing his, her smile, that look. I drew a deep breath. Emily, where were you last night? What? She blinked. You said you were at Claire's apartment. I was, she said too quickly. Why? I let out a bitter laugh. Because Claire called me this morning, asking if you and I were free for dinner this weekend. Her face paled. For a moment, panic flickered behind confusion she tried to hide. She must have forgotten, she stammered, voice trembling. We talked on the phone last night. That's all. Really? I leaned back, eyes locked on hers. Funny, the cafe in the photo didn't look like her apartment. She froze. I placed my phone on the table and slid it toward her. The image glowed under the candlelight. Her hand hovered over it, shaking. I can explain, she whispered. Then explain, I said, cold. She looked down, blinking fast. It's not what it looks like. Then what is it? I snapped, standing. The chair legs screeched against the floor. You met him, I said. You told me you were with your friend, and instead, you were with Evan. The sound of his name hit harder than I expected. She stood, tears gathering. It wasn't planned, she said. I ran into him after work. We just talked, that's all. Talked. My voice cracked. You've been distant for months, and now I know why. Don't insult me with just talked. She covered her face, sobbing. I was confused, Mark. I didn't mean for it to happen. He listens to me. You've been so busy and I... Her voice trailed off. I felt something inside me snap. Not in anger, but in clarity. You were lonely, I said softly. So you turned to the first person who made you feel seen. She looked up, guilt etched into every line of her face. I didn't care if it was physical or not. She had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. Silence stretched. The candle flickered out. The dull hum of the refrigerator filled the room. Finally, she whispered, Why didn't you eat, Mark? You barely touched your plate. I looked at her, the woman I had built my life around, defended, trusted, loved unconditionally, and felt something I hadn't expected, emptiness. I lost my appetite. I said quietly, For food? She asked weakly. Or for me? I swallowed. Both. She flinched as if struck. Tears slid down her cheeks, catching candlelight. Please, she whispered. I made a mistake. Don't throw everything away over one mistake. One mistake. I repeated. You didn't just make a mistake, Emily. You made a choice. Every day you lied. Every time you told me you loved me. She shook her head violently. I do love you. No, I said, my voice breaking. You love the version of me that doesn't exist anymore, the one who trusted you without question. That man is gone. She covered her mouth, sobbing. Please, Mark, we can fix this. Therapy cut him off. Therapy doesn't fix betrayal, I said. It only teaches people to live with a scar. I turned away, grabbed my jacket. Where are you going? She cried. To remember who I was before I started doubting myself because of you. Her sobs escalated, desperate. Don't walk away. Please. You can't just leave without talking this through. I paused at the doorway, hand on the frame. The smell of her cooking clung to the air, once comforting, now suffocating. I did talk, I said softly. You just didn't listen until it was too late. And then I walked out. The night air hit me sharp and clean, the opposite of everything inside that house. I didn't drive immediately. I just stood by the car, breathing. 7 years of believing love meant patience, forgiveness, second chances. Maybe love also means knowing when to stop breaking your own heart for someone who won't protect it. My phone buzzed. A message from her. Please come home. I can't lose you. I stared at it, thumb hovering. Then I typed one sentence. You already did. I turned off my phone, pocketed it, and started walking. No destination, no plan, just a quiet rhythm of my footsteps on an empty street. The home we built glowed faintly through the curtains, but to me, it was already a ruin, something beautiful once, now remembered only from a distance. The next morning, I woke in my brother's guest room. Sunlight filtered through the blinds. My head ached, but my chest felt lighter. Maybe grief is the heart's way of healing after it's been lied to. I sat up, staring at the floor, whispering the words I couldn't say to her last night, words she'd never understand. I didn't want dinner, Emily, because I'd already lost my hunger for us. And in that silence, for the first time in months, I finally felt full, not with anger or love, but with peace.